Hello, just give me a few minutes while I set up this stream. It's 10 o'clock on the dot. Okay, so hi, I'm Charity Low. I am an artist that absolutely loves this app, Vinci Eye AR art projector. I am not the developer, but I am here to help you use the app to its fullest potential. I am here to help you, so please chat with me and ask questions as this live is going. If you don't have the Vinci Eye app and want to try it, please let me know. The password has changed. I will send you a link, and yeah, we'll get started. So I'm going to show you some of my favorite features of this app, all the cool things you can do with it. So you can move around your reference photo to make sure that it's in the right place for you. The layout's perfect. You can shrink it, you can enlarge it. The possibilities are endless. And there is this tool called breakdown mode, which allows, which gives you step-by-step stencils of color value, so you can practice your shading. Let me just show you what I like to do with that. Okay. So the first step is your lightest shading, and then it gets darker and darker as you go. So you just shade in those red areas. You can change the color if the color is hard to see for you. And what that gives you is something like this at the bottom when you're done doing the step-by-step stencils. And then afterwards, I like to go to strobe, turn that on, and increase the opacity to the fullest, which will give you real-time comparison to your drawing on right now, which is just playing spot the difference, and you get to change to match the reference photo as best as possible. I'm just zooming into the section that we were working on, and we're going to continue on. I am here to help you start out your drawing career or just hobby. If you have any requests for future videos, let me know, whether that's the subject we are drawing, which is like portraits or pet portraits, landscapes, still life. You let me know so I can plan that for future videos. If you want to try different mediums, just keep in mind my specialty is in the pencils. I do graphite pencils and colored pencils. The background here, those are all my drawings. Some people mistake them for photographs. Some people. I can tell the difference. But I am more than happy to go over some other mediums, soft pastels, acrylic, watercolor, but they are not my specialty, but at least I can get you started on your pathway for what you want to do with art. I'll be back. Just give me a second. I'm missing something. I am back. I forgot to show you what materials I am using for this live. Oh, actually, let's go here. So I got 4 graphite pencils. I got an 2H, an HB, a 6B matte, and a 14B matte. For your, like you may have different pencils than me, and that's fine. So you want the lightest pencil you have in your pencil set, because you get a pencil set for starters. And then you go to the HB, which is the medium pencil. And then you go for your darkest pencil, and then the pencil in between your medium pencil and your darkest pencil. And that's how I choose. So your pencils won't be exactly the same as mine. I have a large blending stump, a small blending stump, and I also use a little bit of toilet paper for some bigger blending areas. You can use tissue paper if you like. I use a mono eraser, which is a mechanical eraser for fine details, and an electric eraser, and a knead eraser. And then I also use a mechanical pencil for some of the finest details. I should put them down here. And then I have this brush, which will help me get rid of any pencil shavings or whatever that lands on the paper, and it won't smudge when you clean off the page. And that's about it for my tools that I'm using. I am drawing on an 14 by 11 Bristol paper. I'm using the smoothest side so that you can get nice smooth skin texture or other things like the dress. So and now let's get started on working and hopefully getting finished today, but I don't know if I can. So I'm just trying to match the shades of the reference photo as best as possible. Oh, I forgot to press record because I want to do time-lapse videos for social media, which is a cool feature in itself, but it doesn't change or aid in your drawing abilities. It's just for the fun of it, which is getting time-lapse videos. I'm using a 6B, which I think I should actually use a 14B for this to get in the really dark areas. And again, just trying to get it to match the reference photo as best as possible. And I'm going to take the mono eraser and I'm going to work on those polka dots, just tracing around it and yeah, just trying to sculpt them, trying to make them visible. Then I'm going to take my knead eraser for those circles that are not quite white and just dab, just to lightly pick it up. And now I'm going to just finish the fur here. I'm taking the 14B. When it comes to textured surfaces, you don't have to copy it exactly. Textures to me are kind of like abstract. So if you got the ability to mimic the fur or skin texture, if you want to do skin texture, which I'm not doing that, it's too much, you can go ahead and just go ahead and just have fun with it. You don't have to be exact because nobody's going to know the difference. I am just a very particular person and I like to try to make it exact, but yeah, it's just a choice. There's some areas I'm just going to darken it in using some circular motions. I'm going to take the smaller blending stump. There's a little bit of graphite on it, and I'm just going to put it on those circles that I did in some areas, very particular areas, not all over it. So you're going to give it some shading and highlights. I think I put a little bit too much on. That's fine. You can draw with the eraser, making a flat circle, a small one, at the bottom of the knead eraser and just sticking it on there and just pulling it off. So dabbing. There's just a few things I want to tweak with the teddy bear. So I'm just going to fix those little areas. And then we're going to work on the small, like the next little section. It's not much at all for this. We're going to use the 14B to get the really dark areas first, and then we'll work on the rest later. Let me just... Okay, so there's a really dark shadow underneath the hand. I'm not going to go all the way across for that shadow with this really dark pencil. I still kind of want that to make that a little bit more soft so it doesn't look like it's like she's a puppet, you know, like the joints are apart. I don't want that. I'm just trying to get those really, really dark shapes that I see with the 14B, and I'm using matte. I didn't even know matte existed because like the original graphites would reflect if you're using really dark pencils. So I am quite excited about using these. It's actually darker than what I used to do with the black areas, which was the black watercolor pencil. I'm also going to get those really dark areas on the teddy bear as well. Some sections are circular motions, depending on how wide and thick the areas are, and some are lines, a lot of lines next to each other to help create the texture. Okay, I'm going to use the 6B pencil and get some of those other dark areas, but they're not quite black. If your goal is to do photorealistic artwork, be patient. It's going to take a long time to do. If that's not your goal, you get to decide how detailed you want to get. It's all your choice. There's no right way and there's no wrong way, or right style or wrong style of art. So where is my friend Raven? Where'd she go today? I need some music to play. Okay, now I'm working on that crease between the wrist, well, on the wrist, but I'm gonna do light little strokes, lines. And this is still with the 6B pencil. I'm going in with the HB pencil now, and I'm going to work on some of the shadowing on the hands and the arms. Just some circular motions because we want it to be nice and soft and easy to blend. We don't want to see any of the pencil strokes in this section. So you can do some firmer pressure lower and then get lighter as you go up to create like, I want to say balayage. Just a gradual transition between the highlights and the shadow. And then I'm going to go over some of it with the 2H pencil, also some pretty light pressure. So we're just bringing it up about halfway up the arm from what I can see from the reference photo here. The hand is actually pretty dark. I think it's in a shadow from like the teddy bear to make it darker than the arm. Using the toilet paper or tissue paper to just blend that out. Kind of like to go side to side instead of up and down, or just following the shadow line, like the shadow shape. So if the shadow's going this way, go that way for blending. If it's going this way, go this way for blending. And the hand is kind of curved, so that's why I'm blending in a curve for the most part. I'm going to take the HB and just do a little, just darken up some areas on the teddy bear. Not too dark, and we're doing short lines. We're not doing circular motions. And we're going to take the toilet paper again, or tissue paper, and we're going to blend, and just blend in the direction of the fur. And the fur is going all over the place, but just focus on the little sections. We're going to take the mono eraser and just pick up some of those highlighted fur strands. I'm gonna add a little line on top of her arm here, and also a little bit on her hand as well. I'm gonna do that with the dress. I'm kind of doing this off screen, but I'm just tracing the outer line of the dress with the eraser. Okay, we can work on like the little sections later, like down here. We can work on this section right here later. It's close to the next well, not the next section, but it's close to the next row. So you don't need to worry about that. We're going to go all the way back to the left. I like to work from left to right so that I don't smudge anything by accident. Also, the paper that I'm using is also meant for that as well. So we're going to work on the fur. And what I like to do is just do the basic shadows, not worrying about the texture. So you can see that the majority of the fur on her, by her arm is darker. So we're going to do all that darker and then lighter further away from her. I'm going to take the 6B pencil because it's not super dark. I'm going to first trace out her arm, where her arm is going to be, so that I don't accidentally draw over it, making it hard for me to make it the right shade. Okay, we're gonna get the areas that are majority, like we're gonna put in the shadows that is the majority, not the texture, just the majority. So yeah. It's easier to add texture later than it is to try to create texture right away. And then I'm going to take the HB pencil, do that mid-tone in between that lighter area and the darker area. So I'm going to do it slightly darker where it touches the dark area, and then a little lighter when it touches the light area. And then I'm going to take the 2H and I'm going to shade in the rest. This is going to be lighter, so don't try to get it as dark as the other section we just did. Circular motions. It doesn't have to be super tight circular motions because it does enhance the texture. I kind of like to pull, like overlap a little bit of the previous section so that it looks more cohesive. We don't want it to have like these artificial like lines in between each square that we're focusing on. I'm just blending it. It doesn't have to be perfectly smooth because again, it's just going to add to the texture of the fur. I'm going to add a little bit more shadows to it, some darker shadows, because it's not quite as dark as I'd like it to be. So I'm putting a little bit more pressure using the 6B pencil for some of these areas. I'm also kind of focusing on the texture at this point. And then just blending that out. Okay, now after this, we're going to start focusing on the texture. I'm going to use the 6B pencil and just get in some of those dark areas that's just underneath the fur. And just follow those lines, kind of not perfectly, like, not perfectly controlled, if that makes any sense. So some tiny strokes, somewhat of circular motions, because we don't want super sharp edges. We want it to be a bit more softer. You can spend your time focusing on every single little detail. Another thing, like something that I like to do, is just get those really obvious ones done for the most part. Sometimes I like to get all the little details. But again, this is a really long process, so just be patient if you want to do photorealistic artwork. If not, just make it up. As long as you can make it look like fur, you can go ahead and be a little bit abstract with this. I think it's the fur background that's actually slowing us down on this, because I would have been done a couple of episodes ago normally, because yeah, it only takes me about 10 hours to do a photorealistic drawing at 11 by 14 inches, black and white, but there is a lot of texture here, a lot of details. I've been kind of tempted to just finish this offline, because this is taking a long time and I kind of want to move on to a new one for you guys. Mother's Day is coming up soon. Are you guys going to try doing portraits for your mothers or mother figures? Okay, I think that's good. I'm going to take the small blending stump and just soften those edges a little bit, doing small circular motions, but keeping it in those areas. So mostly just following the lines, but kind of circular, very tiny circular motions. Okay, I'm going to take the HB pencil. At this point, I'm just kind of going with more of an abstract approach for this, because I already got the more obvious sections. Just adding a little bit more shadow, darkness to some areas. And just, I'm drawing in lines. It's like scratchy lines. My grade 3 teacher would call them chicken scratches. I don't know why, honestly, I don't. I'm just blending that in. I'm not putting too much pressure, just a little bit. And then I'm going to take the mono eraser and just get some of those highlights. There isn't really many highlights. So just in between those darker lines is where most of the highlights are going to be. I think this little section right here is the dress. So I'm not going to really think of it as the dress. I'm just looking at it as what I see. So we're not too focused on the entire piece. And yeah, I can actually get more details that way. I think I'll use a little bit of the 6B pencil. Just for that line that I see right in the middle. I'm not putting a ton of pressure with the pencil. And then I'm going to use the HB pencil, get some of those bigger shadows that I see, and circular motions because it's nice and soft. And we want to do them a little bit more tighter than the ones that we did on the fur. So nice and small and close together. Anybody that I met at NAMPTA watching this? Because I want to know. I want to know if I was able to recruit some of the NAMPTA people to watch my videos. An 2H pencil just to darken up. Not too much, just a little bit more than what I see on my drawing surface. And I think I'm going to take the bigger blending stump, but I'm going to clean off the tip just by rubbing it, twisting it in the TP so that we don't have any excess from previous blending. So for the lines, I'm following the lines. For those shapes, I'm doing circular motions. I think I'm gonna add, like, just slightly pick up with flattening the, well, first rolling the knead eraser at the tip and then flatten the tip. And we're just gonna dab and then pick it, like dab it. Don't push too hard, just a little bit to pick up some of that. I'm going to move over a little bit so I can see the entire arm. And we are going to use some of the 14B pencils. And just get those really dark lines, kind of not all the way through, because we kind of want to make it look like a shadow, not a line. Lines are just illusions of light and dark hitting each other. We can do like tiny circular motions with that. You don't want it to be too sharp. And this one's a little bit thicker on the right side than it is the left. I'm going to trace out the dress a little bit so that I don't accidentally draw over it. I'm not using a lot of pressure to make this line, and this line is going to disappear or be softer after we get all of the shadows and highlights on it. And then getting some of those triangular shapes that are inside of the arm here. There's like a rounded edge on the bottom part of that section of her arm. We can add a little bit of more pressure on this just to get some nice dark values, making it look a little bit more realistic than if you were just to do very light grays. The black and the white and the 3 shades of gray at the least is what you need to make a good realistic drawing. Man, I got a bit of a frog in my throat. I'm gonna drink some water. Yes, the little section we did on the left here was part of the dress. I'm gonna trace that dress out a little bit too, just so that I'm focusing only on the areas of the hands and the arms. Okay, now we're gonna go with the 6B pencil. It's a little bit more softer shadowing around the edges of the darker area and kind of pulling it out just a little bit, but making it softer, like making it lighter and lighter as you go outwards to the left side of the arm. Nice tight circular motion so you can get that nice smooth finish later when we blend, because if you have very loose circular motions, it doesn't blend as easily. See, it's a little bit darker on the bottom part of the hand. I'm just going to make it softer as I go away. And then I'm also going to finish that little line, little roll on her hand and her arm. I'm just going to drag it across, very light pressure. The shape of her arm is not quite the way I want it to be, so I'm going to take the mono eraser and just reshape that. I'm going to be erasing a little bit of that fur we did earlier, but that's okay. We want it to be the right shape. And then taking the toilet paper and just blending it again, or blending in the shadows and pulling it towards the left side, but still following the shapes, so kind of curved outwards, curved towards the left side for the motion of the shading. And there's a bit of a darker shadow here. I think does it need to be that dark and bring it down? I think so. It's kind of got, let me just move this up a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna pick up the left side of that shadow, that line that I see, that thick line, and then work on adding more darkness to parts of the arm, not all of it. I just don't want that line there, that thick line. Okay, taking the HB, and we're just gonna darken that up a bit. Light pressure, circular motions. We want to do nice tight circular motions. We want to make it so it's nice and soft for blending. Just trying to match it as best as I can. I think I still need to add a little bit more, like make the shadows even darker. So I'm gonna go back to the 14B and then just add more. This again, just trying to find those little differences and change them and match them up. The strobe is just letting me see the reference photo and my drawing in real time so I can find those little differences. I'm going to take the bigger blending stump for this because I kind of want it to just stay, the really dark areas just to stay in that spot. We're doing circular motions for the most part of this. And then I'm going to take the toilet paper and just do some bigger circular motions in those other areas, the lighter areas. Oh. Why did that pause? I accidentally paused the video by touching my earbud. Okay. And then I'm going to use the... I still want to add more shadows to it. I want to add more darkness to this area. It's not quite to my likings. So I'm using the wrong pencil. I'm using the HB pencil just to try and build that up. And it's curved. These shadows are curved. We want it to match the shapes that we see. Back to the toilet paper and just blending it, following the shape. And I think that's pretty good. I think we did an all right job with that. Sorry, just a little bit on this hand here. I want to pull it up. I want to pull that shadow up a bit. Okay. So we're going to work on the base shadows. So like the sections that are darker and just the basics of it. We're not worrying about all the little details on it right now. So I'm going to take, let me see, how dark is this? How dark are these areas? I think I'm going to start with a 6B because it's not super dark, but it is pretty dark. As long as you're not putting a whole bunch of pressure on the pencils, it shouldn't be too hard to lift up. I might try to preserve, let's try to preserve the polka dots. So we'll just trace the outlines of these polka dots and not worry about shading those in. And then circular motions, we want to do nice and tight circular motions because these are pretty soft, like smooth surfaces, not a lot of texture. So yeah. And then just find some of those other dark areas and just work on them. We're trying to focus on the darker areas and then we can get the in-between grays. It's not, there's no black, so don't have to worry about getting it too, like super dark to the point where it's black, just dark. I am trying to preserve those polka dots. We are going to add a little bit more gray to some of them, but yeah, just trying to preserve them. Okay, I think I'm still going to use the 6B, but I'm going to use lighter pressure than I was before. Be patient with the process if you want to have photorealistic artwork. Gotta be very patient. Hyper-realist artwork, which I do not do. I don't do hyper-realistic art. I do photorealistic art. They take over 100 hours to complete. Okay, I think I'm gonna go in with the HB now. Just making it so that the dress isn't pure white. We want some contrast between the polka dots. I'm just gonna pretty much color it in. I can't find a better word at the moment, but coloring in is the best thing that I can use to describe what my goal is. Still trying to find those little shapes and trying to add those, the shapes that are being created by the different shades of gray. Oh. I'm gonna blend it in with the toilet paper. And I think we're going to take a quick break, stretching out the legs, getting a cup of coffee if you want, a cup of tea. And then shortly after that, we can do a quick Q&A or just chat. If you guys don't talk, I will ramble on. So just let you know, beware. Prepare those. This is the time-lapse video so far. But yeah, just take a quick break. Hello, I am back. So I'm going to just sit here for a bit. You guys talk to me in the chat. I will answer your questions at this time. I will answer your questions anytime, but anyways, what's going on here? Oh, come on. Why isn't this working? This is dragging. Sorry, I'm having some technical difficulties for some reason. Okay. A bit about myself. I am a Canadian. The developers are American, and how I got this job of being an artist, both for the ads and instructional videos and these live videos, and I do some other little things as well, including managing the Facebook group. How I got that job is I noticed that Vinci Eye was posting a lot of my artwork on their Instagram, and my brother said I should go ask for a job. I did, and the rest is history. I was able to quit my healthcare work, which I am so grateful about it. Like this is a great thing. So I am not the developer, but I am like a huge fan of the work. Oh, there goes my camera. Oh, I'm having some issues. Just give me a second. I'm going to try to fix this. Okay, stay. Okay. Yeah. I had a wonderful opportunity to meet the developers in person and the rest of the Vinci Eye team, which is not very many of us, to be honest. It was great. It was a wonderful experience to meet them in person. So there's not a lot of you today. If you guys have any questions and you're watching this after the fact, go ahead and comment. I will see the comments and I will try to answer them either in the comments or in the next video, or maybe both. Okay, let's get back to drawing. My brain doesn't want to work today for some reason. I'm just legging myself. Okay, before I forget, I'm gonna start recording again, which will continue off of the next, like the last recording. So we want to have a time-lapse video for social media. All right, just that fall of the camera also kind of moved this a bit too. Just want to try to make sure all of it is shown. And then let's continue. I'm rambling on. Okay, I'm going to use the HB pencil. And just trying to shape out, get some of those other shapes to come out a little bit more. Ones that are not very dark, but you can see them. So there's shapes that are got rough edges, and then there's shapes that have soft edges, which just slightly blend out. I'm almost got it to the point where I am happy with it, but we're still gonna just tweak it. Just keep working on it. Raven, you're here. You're late. It's been boring without you. You make this video a lot more entertaining. You are demanded to show up for your work of being a follower. I've almost got it all that I want to get. It's getting there. You can see how it's coming together. Okay, I'm going to use the blending stump for this. I'm just going to clean it off using the toilet paper, just wrapping it around and kind of rubbing it off. I need to go get some more sandpaper because that would really clean it up. And then just keep those shapes and just do circular motions within those shapes. I'm just kind of working on the darker areas first and kind of pushing it in, softening it up a little bit. And then I'm going to go over this lighter areas with the toilet paper and just blending that in as well. And this one's a little bit more loose for the directions that I'm using. I'll take the I had to go shopping for Mother's Day. What did you get? Actually, yeah. I was going to say, what did you get? Tell me, but maybe it's a surprise and you don't want to ruin the surprise. I'm just tracing out those polka dots, just doing the outlines. making them pop out a little bit more. And after I've done tracing the outline of it, I'm going to shape my knead eraser so that we can dab up some of those, the graphite a bit. So I'm gonna roll it, just the edge, roll the edge so it looks like this, and then flatten the top. So I got like a circle, and then you just press and lift. I'm going to a spring / Mother's Day market tomorrow with my son. It's for school. I'm excited to do it. I'm gonna take the small blending stump and just add a little bit of shadows on top of that, just a little bit. And not the whole thing. I'm not putting a lot, I'm not making it much like darker. Are not my friends. What happened? I couldn't hear myself for a minute. I think I'm going to add a few defining lines on the dress where you can see there's like a fold in the dress. Just doing the top parts. And then the edge around the dresses, or the dress. And then I'm just picking up some of those highlights. I think that's good. I think I am pleased with what that looks like right now. Oh, there might be a little darker area I want to define. So I'm going to take the 6B pencil. It's a little triangle right here that's pretty dark. I want to darken it up more. And then that line that's beside it. And that line goes up a little bit more. Okay, now I think that's good. We can move on. We're getting close. We're more than halfway done for this drawing when it comes to finishing it off. So I'm going to take, let me see, there's a little bit of really dark, like there's a little dark section that I'm going to use the 14B for. So first I'm tracing the shape out, and then I'm going to fill it in. Because it's kind of got a sharp edge, like a, yeah. It's not softened out. It's not got a gradual shift in the shadows there. So I'm going to just trace that, and then we're going to fill it in and try to get it nice and dark. We might need to go over it again later, but then we're going to take the 6B pencil and again, well, this is actually a little bit more softer edges, so we can do circular motions for the traced area, but it's not super soft. It's not a super soft edge. And then we're going to trace out those circles to preserve them for later so that they pop out. And then we're going to do tight circular motions because there isn't really much texture here. You can start seeing like the mesh, like the tool-like material in the bottom, but I don't think we're going to worry about all that detail. It's a lot. Like, I'm already doing a lot. I don't want to do more. I'm just finding those little shapes that I see that are fairly dark. Okay. Playing Spot the Difference. Made a little bit of a mistake there. That's okay. I'm just going to pull that up a bit. Although that mistake nobody would have noticed. It's just me. I'm the only one that would have noticed. I'm going to post the progress on the Facebook group. Which reminds me, I forgot to tell people how to find the reference photo, which is either through the iOS social platform on my profile, which is charitylowsart, the Facebook group in the featured posts, and my Facebook page in my featured posts. My Facebook page is charitylowsart. I forgot to mention that. I'm just tracing those circles, just trying to preserve them. And they are brighter than the rest of the dress. She's so cute. It's starting to, like, it looks really nice already. I want you guys to post your works. If it's this one or a different one. I want to see. Go to the Facebook group, Da Vinci Eye App's Facebook group, and post there. And there is a circle that's actually on the other side of the skirt. You're seeing the back side of the circle, so it's darker than the rest, but I'm still going to trace it out. Because the tulle part of the dress is what the polka dots are on, and yeah, it's see-through. But there is an under, like, layer underneath that dress. I'm running out of things to say because it's just me saying the things over and over again. So I'm just trying to find those shapes. Keep on trying to find the shapes, trying to match the shade, like the shade of gray. This section is a little bit more detailed, or there's a lot more going on in this section of the dress than the previous sections that we were working on. So if it's got a soft edge, do circular motions to create the shapes. If it's a sharp edge where it's like instantly dark and light, then do lines for the outlines. Sorry. Okay. We're almost done doing, like, getting all those shapes, getting the right shade for each section. I'm going to blend it out in all the areas here in a moment and then see where we're at. And we might need to add more to it later. I almost forgot that little bottom part here. This bottom part here is pretty much the same shade all the way through. This tight circular motions is what you want to do because it makes it easier for softer blending, smooth surfaces. Is it cloudy up there? I don't know. My window is blocked. Let me see. Oh, it looks like blue sky. Blue sky today. We're finally getting sweater weather. It is starting to look really nice up here. I'm going to add a few more layers of this darker areas. And you can kind of tell where I didn't do very well with the tight circular motions because you can kind of see it. Well, at least I can see it. I don't know if you guys can see it. So I'm going to go back with the 6B pencil and just to sculpt it a little bit more. It's actually kind of how I feel is like when I'm drawing on, I feel like I'm just a sculptor. I am trying to sculpt out the details. And then also like when I do the shadowing of the face, it just feels like I'm doing makeup on somebody. I don't know why, it just does feel that way. There's a bit of a, I just noticed there's a little bit of a dark area on her face that shouldn't be there. So I'm just taking that knead eraser to pick it up a bit. I don't know why. It's like fingerprints or something. Try to do nice tight circular motions. And just light pressure, not putting a ton of pressure on this. Do you hear my birds in the background? It's supposed to be a really nice 80 degrees Fahrenheit. What is the weather supposed to be like for us? Do I have that information? It's supposed to be in its 20s, 20 Celsius. That is good. That is a good weather. That is play with the water outside with the kids type of weather for us. Okay. Just trying to get those really dark areas at this point. Just give it more contrast, give it more depth. There's not a lot of those really dark areas. I'm gonna go in with the HB pencil. Just trying to sculpt out those shapes a little bit better. Oh, that's a 2H pencil. I was wondering why it wasn't getting a certain shade. It was too light. Okay, I think I should move on because I'm going to be here all day. I will be here all day if I keep on trying to make it exact. But I think it looks pretty good, so. As I'm still working on this. Okay, taking the TP, the toilet paper, and blending it. Tissue paper, whatever you have, doesn't matter. And then I'm going to trace out those circles using the Mono eraser. It's going around the edges. Like, the reason why I'm doing the edges of these circles is because there's quite a bit of them that have that bright white line all the way across, like all the way around it. I'm not going to do the edges of the ones that you're seeing the back of. They don't have that outline of white. But I am going to pick it up with the knead eraser here pretty quick. Okay, so we're gonna roll it and flatten the bottom. And then we're gonna just press, dab. Also, try to find those little shaded areas on there and avoid picking up those shaded areas to give it more of a realistic shading on it, because they're not pure white all the way through. There's some shadows hitting and some highlights. Giving you pre-downloaded photos. Okay, so I'm not the developer. The Android only has like one free photo for you to use. They are working on updating the Android to match the iOS. So I don't know if they're going to have a free version for the Android or not. That's not my decision. But the iOS is really a try before you buy. If you do want to try the app for free for a year, though, I can give you a promo code for the Android, so you can try before you buy. So if you go email me at charitylowsart 14. Wait, let me see. I have too many emails. I'm sorry. Okay. There should be an email in the description. I think it's charitylowsartdve at outlook.com, and I will give you a promo code to try the Android for free for a year. So, but the iOS, again, it has a free version, but it gives you just you can only use photos that they provided for you. You can't use your own photos. So, yeah. So I'm just dabbing to pick up some of that graphite that's on there that's too dark. And then I'm going to take the, no, let me just take a look. I'm just analyzing it to see what I need to do. There are a few little sections I want to just define a bit better. I'm going to take the mono eraser, not putting a lot of pressure on it, and just tracing some of those highlights. And then I'm just gonna take, sorry, I was gonna say something and I forgot to say it. I said it in my head, but I didn't say it out loud. I'm taking the blending stump, and it's already got some graphite on it, and I'm just gonna get those shadows I see on the polka dots. And moving on to the next section, we will do a little bit of the 14B. There's not a lot of really dark areas. Raven, what kind of phone do you use? And did I give you the option of trying the app for free for a year? I can't remember if I already did that for you. iPhone 15, okay. I don't know if I gave you a promo code for the app or not. I'm just kind of curious. Or if you just got the app before you found me. Okay, I'm gonna send you something through the chat, Facebook Messenger. I want to just see, I want to test this out because they gave me a new type of code. And I think what it does is it will give you a free year, even though you already have the app. I'm not 100% sure if that's true, but I want to test that. You're gonna be my test dummy. Just kidding. My test. You're not a dummy, but you're gonna test things out for me. Oh. You gave me one for a friend. Yeah, the thing is, like, I think this new type of promo code, you can add it to your current sub, and then it will just continue on as normal. So it doesn't matter if you already have the app to get this promo code. I just want to see. I just want to see if it will add to what you already have. I could possibly just ask the developer how that works. Oh, somebody's home. I hear a little squeaker. The little girl we're drawing is back home. Oh, were you grandfathered in like I was? Because I got it when it was a one-time payment as well. I like how they were able to keep it free for the people who caught it just in time. They didn't change their mind and be like, "Oh, this is being used a lot, so therefore you need to pay for it." Yeah, it's nice. I'm still using the 6B pencil, although you don't need to, and I'm doing very light tight circular motions, just light pressure. Yeah, put a little bit more pressure in those darker areas and lighter pressure in the lighter areas. Still circular motions, very tight circular motion so that it has like a nice smooth surface once you blend it. My watch is telling me to get up and move. Well, I think we've got quite a bit done. I don't know how much longer this is going to take or how many more videos, but hopefully we can move on pretty quickly onto something new. I'm running out of words. I'm just starting to just be in my head. I need to be out of my head so you guys can follow along. So tight circular motions. I'm trying to find all those little subtle shapes that I see throughout, putting a little bit more pressure in the darker areas and lighter pressure in the lighter areas. I traced out the circles earlier and I'm just shading in around them. I want to try to preserve those polka dots. Tracing some more polka dots that are lower on the dress, and that way I can just keep them pretty light easily. And there are some polka dots that we are seeing the back side of because how the dress is laying, because the top layer is see-through. So those are darker circles, but we are still gonna go over them, trace them a bit. Oh. Did it die? It died, didn't it? So the reason why last video was cut short, I didn't get to say my goodbyes, was because the internet company was playing with the wires outside. They didn't even tell me. I wish they told me so I would have done the video on a different time just for that day. So nice tight circular motions. I am not worried about doing the texture of the tool. It's kind of like a mesh texture because there is a lot of texture, a lot of little details. I'm already spending too much on the fur on the background. Okay, now I'm gonna blend with the toilet paper or tissue paper, whatever you have. I'm not too worried about keeping the lines nice and clean. And I kind of want to blend it everywhere because there's not very many bright areas in this section. So I'm just giving it some more, a darker value everywhere. There we go. Okay, I think that's it for today. I'm gonna do my little thing again. If you don't have the app and you want to try it for free for a year, you can. Oh, why is this not? Sorry. Let me just do something quick. Okay, if you want to try it free for a year, please email me at charitylowsartdve@outlook.com and just put the title as promo code, and then tell me if it's an iOS or an Android, because that does make a difference. You can follow us on our Facebook page or Facebook group, which is Da Vinci Eye Facebook group. Just join it, post your drawings, ask questions. I am available for answering questions at any time, so you can just send me a message on Facebook if you'd like, or just comment in this video below. And if you have any questions, or you want me to go over anything, you want me to show you new materials or different materials like pastel or paint or whatever, let me know. Different subjects, if you want to do like landscapes or pet portraits, let me know as well, and I will try to get those into future videos. Thanks for all the support, especially Raven, my #1 fan, and you guys have a wonderful day.